Happen on. Let's see how this goes. It's always something with Facebook. It looks like Facebook is working this morning though, so that's good. I think it's working. I don't know. Every time I start, seems like it's not. Oh, I think it is. Okay. So good morning, good morning. So I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome. It's Restorative Sunday. Yay! So now that the Miss Health and Fit competition journey has ended for me, so I want to thank everybody again for showing their support, for putting in their votes, for supporting Wounded Warriors. The competition is still going. It goes until October of this year, so just a couple more months, but my journey has ended on that. But I was super grateful. I made it to top 10 in the Miss Health and Fitness. This was a worldwide competition, so that's, I think, pretty awesome. And I could not have gotten that far without all of you, so I'm super grateful for that. And so now I am starting to tweak the program a little bit and come back to, what Crummy to Smiles is more of all about. So as I've mentioned, maybe some of it, maybe you only like the yoga, maybe you only like the fitness Fridays, or maybe you do like the sometimes outrageous and wild information that I post. I don't know. So I'm going to be pretty much getting down to tweaking different things on the space. So on my Facebook channel is where I usually post a lot of news articles. I was theming things out for the week and just putting general information out there that deals with being you, being true, living an all natural, hopefully more sustainable life. And so anytime I have articles or different interesting things, I share it in that community. So that's basically from pretty much after today's yoga and on what that group will be. So the Facebook, it'll be like all the discussions, all the weird, interesting, funky, crazy, wild, awesome news that I find that deals with being in the natural world. That will be a place where that information will go. And then if you have questions about anything else, you can contact me at any time and let me know. If you have any questions about anything, if you're interested still in some sort of service or whatnot, because like I said, I teach. Crazy dog. I still have that dog here. So if you clocked in on Friday, you probably heard possibly the dog. That dog is still here. Basically though, I'm going to section out things so things can make more sense and flow easier. So my favorite word ever is mellifluous, and it's the flow of honey. It's a smooth flow, and they use it more towards like singing and like songs, like when something flows very well, but it can also be used in terms of just a nice, easy flow. And so I love that word because I always love to live simplistically. I love things to be simple. I try not to overcomplicate anything. And that flow mellifluous of honey is kind of that same thing. I want a nice, natural flow. So from now on, I will still be advertising on the Facebook where I'm doing yoga, so you can find me if you'd like to join us for an online class or a class in person. I also teach like private sessions of yoga. We'll have some special group events coming up, small petite groups, either outside or in a space where we can still distance. And I'll still have Fitness Fridays, just everything, all the workouts, I'm going to categorize them. So you'll be able to find them all in one place, one space, and that will be on good old YouTube. So I will still promote so you can find me on Facebook. I'm just kind of getting all this, as all new things figured out. And then from then on, the workouts will just pretty much be found on YouTube, and possibly I might probably still throw them up on Twitter also. But I don't know. We'll see about that. But I did have some, I think, pretty good solid there for sure for the YouTube. So maybe, Twitter too, everything, all you guys. You'll find it on the YouTube, all the live videos and workouts. Now, for Twitter, I love it, love it, love it. I love everyone who I've connected with on Twitter. You guys are so funny. I've chatted with some cool folks on Twitter, and that's why I do. I don't want to take anything away. I'm not taking anything away. You just have to, clock in on YouTube for a moment to catch me in the yogas. But Twitter, you are so fun and awesome. You guys might get some extra little content there too. Like I said, but I really want Facebook. I want it to be the community. I want it to be open discussion. I want people to ask me things or to question or to comment and talk with each other. And just have that space where if you're interested in living an all-natural lifestyle and you need that information or you're interested in living a sustainable life, you can go ahead and reach out to me on that page, or you can reach out to anyone else who you've seen comment or whatnot on that page in that community. So that's why Facebook, the big thing, will be there. Discussions after today, but I'll still promote these classes and where you can find them. And then Twitter, I don't know what I'm going to do with you yet, but it's always a good time on Twitter. I like that. I feel like it definitely brings some relief to Twitter because Twitter in itself, that platform now, has just become such a political madness. And I get political sometimes. Like, if you know me, you probably know what I'm about, but I try not to bring it up too much with Twitter, y'all. I'm happy I could bring some relief and some relaxation, some healing to those on that platform. I think it's very important not for everyone to get caught up too much. And I mean, we all have our politics and this and that, but those were always the top three things I grew up learning. You don't talk to new people or people about, and now it just seems like everybody flares everything out into the world when they want. But it was money related to how much you made or your job, what you were doing. They just needed to know that you had a job, and religion and politics. Like, those are the top three things that it was rude, along with also asking a lady her age, which too many of y'all be out there asking people their ages, and that's a no-no. You're not supposed to ask a lady her age. So, unless we put it out there and things. Although I put it out there, people they'll still forget, and that's fine with me. Just as long as I keep getting, ID'd when I'm out and about, I guess that's nice. So that's where we're going from there. So Twitter, I don't know what I'm doing with you yet, but so you may still get some workouts, but primarily the workouts will be on YouTube, and Facebook, you are the place of discussion, and where we'll host events and different things. We'll just go from there. So that's what's happening here. Just always trying to get organized in a world that loves to be quite messy. So here we are. It's Restorative Sunday. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting me, like I said, once again, in that Miss Health and Fitness competition. My journey has ended there, but here we are in my living room for some restorative yoga. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I just choose to do it in my living room, one, because I don't wake up that early to get to the space. But it's a little bit more relaxed. Like, most of you are at home doing the same, hanging out at your space and maybe waking up with your cup of coffee. And so that's what we're, doing here. Although I didn't even get my coffee yet. I slept in. We had kids yoga at 10, which was wonderful. And here we are now, restorative yoga, which if you were clocked in on the other station and your kids, still wanted to fly around with some yoga poses, if you're with your kids, invite them to your mat, invite them to the floor with you, just make sure everybody's being safe. But if they like that stretching, if your kid's in athletics, if they like to, I know a lot of my friends' kids, they go running with them, kids who like to play with, not play, but like lift weights already, like ice skate, like all these things. So yoga can be very beneficial for them. So we're gonna just hop in today's flow. We'll just be going through a few poses today. We're going to work, I call it restorative, but today might feel a little bit more like a yin yoga. Just really getting in position, stretching deep. Usually restorative and especially yin tend to focus on really that lower body, that groin area, the lower abs. We still do the full body stretch, but we're really working on stretching out those legs, those core, and that internal organs in yin. So we're going to do a little bit of a yin style today, but it's still really nice and restorative. So we're going to start a little different. We're going to start standing. We're going to have legs shoulder width or a little bit past shoulder width apart. And I want you, as you want, you can just kind of pedal up the feet a little bit, just to kind of get warmed up at your own pace. And I'm trying to do that more. I want to guide you. So, kind of do these at your own pace, or if you need to fidget a little bit to get to pose or position that feels a little bit more comfortable, go ahead and do so. So we're going to pedal out. I'm just taking my foot, going up onto my tiptoes and pedaling out down. Just to get those feet and those toes warmed up. Also, we work our feet every day so much, and we do not give them a break. So this is really good for that too. And I want you to raise it a little bit higher, so you're actually going to be on your tiptoes and raising up. I know it's like fitness right here. Just gets the body moving, gets the body going. If you want, you kind of sway your head a little bit while you're moving. You might need to slow it down for that. All right, you're going to keep those legs apart. You're going to come back to neutral, come back to center. And you actually are going to take our right hand, stretch it up high, reach for the sky, maybe look up towards the ceiling, and then drop your head back down to neutral. You're going to take that right hand and take it and stretch the side of your neck. Holding over your head towards the right. The crown of your head should be facing the right. Nestled up in your right arm. Take a moment to breathe and release. Taking that arm back up and dropping it down to your side and repeating on the left side. Left arm reaching up towards the sky. Visuals looking right towards the ceiling. And bringing your head back down to neutral. Wrapping that left arm around your head for support and security. Stretching to the left. What sporadically came into my mind was the mall. Have any of you been going to the malls? Is that a thing still? I mean, I grew out of it pretty quick. Of course, I went as a kid. All the kids, we loved it. Our parents would drop us off at the malls, and it was like we were free forever until they closed, and we'd all go to the movies just so we could stay there even later. And then release that left arm and drop it. And then I want you to wrap your arms around and take both arms up towards the ceiling. Get a nice stretch. Take a big, nice inhale. And release, dropping those arms, crossing them around, and bringing it right back up into the ceiling for another nice deep breath. And release. One more time, wrapping those arms around, facing them up towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath. And release. All right. Bring those legs in a little bit closer. And just come together. We're going to bend at the knees once more. Bringing those arms, wrapping them up. Taking them up towards the sky. And with your shoulders down, making sure you have your shoulders down with arms to fingertips. Reaching for the sky. You have your feet planted onto the floor, nice and flat. Just take a big, great inhale. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Another great big inhale in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And on this last one, take arms, palms together. Take a big, nice inhale. And as you exhale, dropping palms down to your chest, down to your heart chakra. Just taking a moment here. How do those arms feel? Just after that, I know that warmed up my arms. Yeah, I was wondering. Like, I used to go to the mall all the time, and I don't anymore. Like, if that's still, just going to the mall. All right, and then take this one last deep breath here. And let thoughts like that. Maybe you have some random thoughts going through your head. That's okay. Let them settle in. Just take a moment to come into focus. You're thinking about your wild weekend, or maybe you had a calm weekend. Getting some positive vibration for the week ahead. It seems like people are getting back to busy. Maybe people are at the mall, I'm just not. So you're going to take that left foot, you're going to swing back into the back of your mat. You're going to go to the back of your mat, and we're going to come up, bring the arms around, and drop them into a nice forward fold. So we're going to start folding over, and you might need to have your knees bent for this one a little bit. That might be a thing, just while we're getting warmed up. And then you're going to bend the knees, come back around, bring arms up to the ceiling, and then drop them back to their sides. You're flying back down into forward fold. Bending at the knees a little bit. Your feet should be together, but if you need a little space between them, that's fine. And once more, dropping the knees, bringing the arms up around, taking a nice big inhale. And releasing as you forward fold one more time. Forward folds seem so easy, but they, like when you're just waking up and you're stiff, like I can feel it in the entire back of my body. And we're going to come back up to tabletop. So from that forward fold, you're going to move up to help that stretching go. You're going to flatten out those legs if you had your knees bent. Come up to flat back tabletop. Have that crown facing towards and reaching out towards the wall in front of you or just ahead of you, but keeping that back flat. So you're inhaling, and then you exhale. Release. That's always sore. And once again, come up to flat back, facing that crown. So you inhale, and then release. And once more, facing that crown, coming up to flat back, tabletop, and release. Bending up the knees a little bit. Getting a nice stretch there in the back. Remember, you want to stretch, not strain. You just lay over and come forward fold. You have those elbows, put hands, fingers to opposite elbows, and just kind of move from side to side. Coming to center, neutral, maybe come back to front. And coming back up, raising those arms above, hands coming palms together. As you release, bring those palms back down to chest, heart chakra, and your spine. Even I in the morning, like it is always so stiff. Top of my back, my neck, you just have to stretch it out. Do what you can do for now. We're different every day depending on workouts you have the day before, depending if you're a runner or if you're only lifting. Our bodies can get so stiff or only want to move in certain directions. Okay, let's take one more inhale. And then releasing, dropping those arms, maybe shaking them out for a moment. And once again, you're going to take those arms, take that right arm, give it a nice stretch, support it over the neck and head, and grab that head, and a nice stretch to the right. Really make sure we're focusing on getting that neck stretched, also the shoulders stretched. Something we take for granted also. And releasing that right arm, bringing it back down, raising up that left arm, getting a nice stretch, fingertips towards the ceiling, and then wrapping it around your head to give support, dropping that head down to the left. And then releasing, dropping that left arm back down. And just a moment, I want you to take that, just your head, because it's nice. They actually do make yoga for like your face or yoga for your head. So you can face the mat still, but I'm gonna face towards you so you can see. I want you just to take your head and take your hands and place them kind of on the side of your neck. Just use it as support and just start to slowly reach your neck back. Stretching, getting a nice stretch in the front of that neck. You can feel, just having your hands there, you can feel all those little tendons, all those muscles, all those bones moving in your neck. Getting a nice stretch. Stopping as your face starts to hit towards the ceiling. Maybe aligning your mouth wide open, neutral. Just give it a break. You can feel it. I know I can feel it, especially my right side is really, really tight. And then coming back to neutral. And then slowly moving towards the front, dropping that head, dropping that neck, getting a nice stretch now in the back of your neck. Good. Feel that down my spine. Allowing the mouth to maybe hang neutral for a moment. And coming back up. Good job. I just like to make sure we're getting everything stretched today. But we are still going to work on that. So again, it's usually that core, that grind, but just getting deep stretches everywhere. Maybe do another little side to side, front to back with that neck. And come back to neutral. All right. And we're going to take these arms up. Once again, going up into forward fold and folding over. And this time we're going to walk out into our first downward dog. So just walking out to our downward dog.
And here's something, depending where you take it actually, so if you have your feet together, that is another version of mountain pose. So if you want it, if you're feeling really stretched out and want to get that close, go ahead and go to mountain. If you're warming up like me, this is the first one of your day, keep those feet just a little bit shoulder width apart, a little bit maybe in from that. And just stay in this downward dog for a moment. Pedal it out if you need to pedal out those feet. Nice stretch here, taking a breath. And then ready, coming down to all fours, coming down to the floor. We're going to go into a nice child's pose, putting toes, feet, palms together, knees not width apart, and a nice child's pose. We're going to stay here. Child's pose might be one of those moves where you feel you need to still move around a little bit to get situated. That's fine. Just continue to focus on your breathing while you're in child's pose. Remember to inhale and exhale, and every exhale getting deeper in the stretch. Taking one last inhale in child's pose. And releasing back up as you exhale. Feeling like you're feeling that body. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to do a modified using child's pose to go into a nice modified thread the needles. So that's kind of a nice prep pose. What we're going to do is slowly put the arms in front of you again. Have your left arm extended a little bit. So this is a modified, so we're not going all the way through. Like when we go up from hands and knees. You can hear that dog, it cracks me up. And we're going to take our right arm and start to thread it through underneath the armpit and in between our left side, so between our left hand and our left knee. So if you can't see me, I'm sorry. But we're just going to go over to that. Actually, let me see. So you guys can see me, stay there and work on that. If you haven't already, I'm going to drop Facebook just a little bit down. Actually, I'm going to drop both of you guys down. Because we're going to be on the floor a lot for now for the rest of it for restorative pose. So you're out in child's pose, knees width mat apart. Take that right arm, and this is a modified thread the needle, and just start to drop it down. It's like you're threading a needle. You're threading that right arm through your left side body. Just stay here. This is all about deep stretching today. This is why it's also nice to stretch the neck. So when you're doing stretches like this, you are putting pressure a little bit on that neck. So you want to make sure you're not straining your neck. You don't want to like pull your neck out far, but making sure your bum is still back in that child's pose. Left arm maybe getting a nice stretch here. Right shoulder, you should definitely be feeling it. And get as deep as your body will allow. This also is good for a nice back, nice side twist. Bun Bun is torturing that dog. Funny, he does what he wants. And then the dog's like, why can't I be out here with Bunny? Bun Bun owns the house. This is just Bun Bun's house. I'm just here. As you're in this position, as you're inhaling, let that be a setup for as you exhale. A little bit deeper in that pose. Possibly getting some little bit of movement if you feel like you need to get a little readjusted in this position. And then on your next inhale, exhale, releasing, coming out from that pose position. And taking that right arm, aligning it out into normal child's pose with that left arm. And then on your next inhale, exhale, releasing, coming up. And then once again, we're going to do that on the opposite side. So you're going to have that right arm extended out, still legs width apart. And you should still feel that. Like I could feel that in my inner thighs for a nice stretch there. So you're going to have the right arm out. You're going to thread the needle. You're going to take that left arm. It's kind of bent. You're going to just thread it through underneath your right armpit, arm inside body. I promise that dog is fun. She cries. She can't see me. And on your next inhale, exhale, coming up, releasing, taking that left arm to meet it up into going to normal child's pose, to meet that left arm with the right. Nice stretch. And on your next inhale, exhale, coming up and releasing. Maybe I'll grab one so you guys can see who I'm talking about in the next moment. Now I'm just scooting up. You don't have to scoot up, but I want you guys to be able to see me for the next one. I know I tend to go back a little bit, but if you're at home, you don't have to worry about it. Or you can scoot up if you need to get recentered on your mat. So we're going to go from, like I said, this is all about some really getting those internal organs moved. We're not doing a lot of poses today. It's really just deep stretching. That's why it's more of a yin style yoga today. You can use your hands for support to get settled. Oh my gosh. So we really only have like a couple more poses. We're going to go through this last pose. And then, well, we're going to go through this and then one more pose. And we're going to do a little bit more of the neck stretching and the arms. And we'll be feeling pretty good for the day. Maybe you'll be more sore. I don't know. But next one, what you want to do is you want to actually fall into, from that child's pose, kind of fall into having your bottom drop and kind of get ready for a superhero pose. So if you want, and you're having this, if this is too much, if you can't sit in between, let me show you, like, I'm actually sitting down. It's almost like you're getting ready for frog pose too. So you're sitting down in between your legs now. You take it out, your legs to be wide, shoulder legs width apart. If that's too much for you, like I said, we do everything modified, just stay kind of like we were in child's pose, or you can grab like a nice blanket and roll it up and have it underneath the backs of your feet, or underneath your feet, or in between your thighs. So grab that if you need, and you just place it where you're comfortable at, underneath your feet. Maybe you just need a little bit more leveling on the surface, or a little bit more support in between your thighs, and your quads, and the backs of your feet. And this may be uncomfortable. It's about stretching, not straining. What we're going to do is we're working on stretching out those leg muscles still, stretching out that full body, that internal organs, getting those going. You need to have your feet brought in a little bit. That's another thing you can do. So sometimes, most of the time I can have my feet straight out. And that's no problem, but if that feels uncomfortable, today it feels a little uncomfortable, and I feel like I've been doing some other crazy workouts. Just have them up under your bun, use that to support you. And what we're going to do is we're just going to get a little bit of a back stretch here, and we're not going to go into a full superhero, we're just going to do a nice stretch partially into it. So you're going to have your palms facing the front body, you're just going to slowly walk back, and just stretch out. So working on those shoulders too. So you just want to stretch out, you're going to go down onto your forearms actually, and just get a nice stretch here. It's like, kind of like when you're at the beach and you're sunbathing. So you can go onto your forearms if you want a nice stretch there. This is almost like a mermaid stretch too. So it's kind of a little bit of everything, a little bit of in between. And just deep breathing, focusing on that deep breathing. All these stretches prepare our body, stretch the body in ways you did not even think were a thing. And can find you some relief. This once again gets that neck a little bit stretched. That's why it's so important to stretch that neck out at the beginning. And just taking one more inhale, exhale here. And on your release, walking back up. And going back again once more into that child's pose for nice relief. And on that inhale, exhale, walking back up. And we're going to go right back into that stretch. We're going to do the stretch 3 times. So once again, getting a little deeper each time. Maybe now your feet can come out to the side and find a little more comfort in that. Try that out. Or if you need to stay the same, that is fine. I'm going to go ahead and go on this time and having this palm space front body. I'm going to slowly work on getting on to my forearms and getting a nice stretch. If you want, maybe if your hands are lined up with your feet, you can give your feet a little nice massage there. Otherwise, just focus on your breathing. Making sure your shoulders are down, that neck is getting a nice stretch. Yeah, the dog like doesn't bark, she just kind of... If you've ever seen the movie The Gremlins, it's kind of like that. Alright, and coming back up and finding relief, going back into child's pose if needed, getting some relief there. And then once more, coming back up and going to that pose just once more. So stretching out, getting adjusted as needed, getting that thumb in between your both legs and stretching out, palms facing forward. Maybe you just need to go here, maybe your hands down and up is good. Working on getting those back muscles stretched too, focusing on the shoulders down, or if you want to go ahead on your forearms and get that nice stretch. This allows you to feel it up the center of your body, just all the way down in line with your belly button. Dropping that neck a bit, letting the shoulders stay, but not scrunching up, having control, letting everything release. Taking one last inhale, and exhale, and using those arms for support to come back up, and once more releasing into child's pose. And either maybe legs are together right in front of you, or you can still have legs out, knees bent apart. And coming back up, and you're actually going to go into all fours, come into all fours tabletop, like we're getting ready for cat-cow. But we're not going to go into cat-cows, but we are going to do some little stretches here. So that was a good one on the feet. Toes. So you may want to have you on your tippy toes and just kind of move back to front, getting a little stretch there, a nice little release from that. Maybe moving a little side body movement, side to side. Go one way, you should always go the other. Balance out that yin and yang, left and right, throws it back. Doing a few circles to the right, just 3, just using that core to move around. Move back to neutral. And then reversing that. I guess that sun's coming out. It's getting brighter here. And coming back to neutral. And we're actually going to just do a little bit, go back a little bit to get a little toe stretch. Put a little bit of pressure on those toes while they're up. Coming up, we only have one more pose to do. So it's nice with the yin style. You really get into those stretches. And it really moves you around. It gets deep in different areas of the body and into tissues. And it goes by fast. So next we're going to come back up with control, go into plank position from all fours and toes. And once more, you're going to back up into downward dog. A nice little stretch here. And cuddling down a little bit of feet in. And you're going to take that right foot, if you can, just no matter where you can lift it here, or a little bit up wider, or tall, nice and tall, and take that right foot and just bend it at the knee a little bit. I want you to have that foot guide you over your left leg. Just have a little nice knee bend. Do a nice little side stretch towards your hips, towards your waist on the right side, and bring that right leg then through and up towards your chest to your body. And we're going to drop it down. One of my favorite poses are nice pigeon pose. So it's another one we're going to be here a while. Have that knee facing the right palm. Pigeon pose, it might take you a minute to get adjusted too. That's fine. You can work on getting that front foot kind of up a little bit more, kind of more comfortable, getting a deeper stretch in that internal organs and in that area. And then come down as needed onto that foot for a nice stretch here. You could even go as down as you have the arm stretched out and bring that forehead to the mat. So whatever is comfortable for you. With each inhale and exhale, getting a little bit deeper in that pose, in that position, in that stretch.